Jim Sells will not be on the phone, sir.
Pardon me?
Jim Sells will not be on the phone.
He won't be there.
Councilmember Van Kessler said he's coming.
Mark Mitchell.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's now 6:30 p.m., January 25th, 2021. At this time, I call the City of Grantville City Council into their monthly meeting. First order of business be the invocation. And Mr. Mallory, would you please lead us in one of your invocations? And if we could rise for that and remain standing afterwards for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Amen. Let's look to the Lord prayer. Lord gracious Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day. Just bless us with, Father. We thank you for this opportunity to meet as council, mayor, and council, city manager. We pray you bless this meeting tonight. We pray for you, pray you for guidance and other citizens who are made here tonight, Father. We pray you bless each one who came this way tonight. Bless those that can't tonight. It will be. We thank you for blessing and watching over our town. We pray this in Jesus' name, Father. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge
Allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. Next order of business, citizens' comments on agenda items. Mr. Mallory, this will be handled later on in the meeting.
Okay.
Anybody else got anything on the agenda they want to talk about? Okay. Next order of business, the approval of the agenda. Do I have a motion to approve the agenda?
Motion to approve.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion and second. Would you have any questions or discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it, so ordered. Next order is approval of minutes. City Council work session minutes January 11, 2021. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes?
Motion to approve.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
And I have a second. Do we have any questions or discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by aye.
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 Opposed? Ayes have it, so ordered. Next order of business will be the public hearing for an application for alcohol, beer, and wine on-premise consumption license for the Bricks on Church Street, address 13 Church Street, applicant Doug Frost.
Yes, sir, Mr. Mayor. We will open the public hearing at 6:33. Anybody who would like to speak for the applicant for on-premise consumption of beer and wine, come forward to the podium. Anybody that would speak in opposition to the alcohol, beer, wine, on-premises consumption license for the Bricks on Church Street, 13 Church Street, applicant Doug Frost, please come forward. Mr. Mayor, seeing no one in favor or in opposition, we will close the public hearing at 6:34.
Mr. Mayor, need a motion and second and a vote to close the public hearing.
Okay, do I have a motion to close the public hearing?
Yes, I'll make a motion, we close it.
Have a motion, do I have a second?
Second.
All right, do you have any questions or discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. We'll close it at 6:34. Next item is public hearing.
Yes, sir, Mr. Mayor. Our next public hearing, which has been duly
Let me back
advertised.
up. My error would be the discussion decision on the application of the beer and wine we just had to
Yes,
hear
sir.
on.
I apologize, that's correct. We have not received the fingerprints nor the background check on the applicant. That's all tied together due to the new Department of Revenue requirements. We are still not receiving the receipt of them. However, subject to a satisfactory background check and fingerprints, I asked the city attorney's guidance whether or not you can approve the alcohol beverage, beer and wine on premises consumption license.
It would be my recommendation that you wait until that information is received and you have a full, completed application, and then the council can act on it at that time.
So then we will table that item until we get that information.
Okay, do we need a motion and
Yes,
second?
sir.
for that?
Yes, sir.
All right, do I have a motion to table the application?
Motion to table, Mr. Chairman.
All right, have a second.
Second.
Have a motion and second. Have any questions? Hearing none, all in favor signify aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
The ayes have it. So, we will table it. Now comes the discussion on the
There's public hearing.
other public hearing on the comprehensive plan and future land use map update.
Yes, sir, Mr. Mayor. This public hearing has been duly advertised. It's for the comprehensive plan, future land use update, a minor amendment. Basically, it is to consider the Jeff Mansour property and putting it on the future land use map as industrial. The comprehensive plan has to be amended in that manner also. So we will open the public hearing at 6:38. Is there anybody in the audience that would like to speak for or against that item? Come to the podium, sir, and identify yourself, please.
Most of y'all know me, I'm Jeff Mansour, I'm the owner of the subject property. And I would just like to say, if possible, we would like to table the vote on this for a future date, with hopes of meeting with the Planning Commission to go over some of their issues that they have brought up. We weren't present, or I wasn't present at the Planning Commission meeting, so I don't know what the discussion was about. I did get a update of what they said, but no really details about the discussion. So I am asking if y'all will, table the vote for a future date. If you decide not to, I would just like to reiterate a couple of points. One, we don't have a contract. We're not under contract to sell for an industrial development. The only thing that I have asked for is to change the comprehensive plan and the land use map to potentially attract industrial development in the future. At that time, the council will still have the opportunity to either approve or deny a rezoning request based on site plans and everything else that a potential developer would present to y'all. And then the other thing is if it would be possible to get a copy of the comprehensive plan and the land use map. Is that something that's available now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And then if there's any opposition tonight, I would appreciate it if you would hear them out and see what they have to say, and we'll go from there. But if possible, we would like to table the vote. And that's all I've got.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Is there anybody else in the audience that would like to speak to the comprehensive plan and future land use map update, the minor amendment? If not, we can close the public hearing upon motion of the city council.
Should have a motion to close.
Motion to close.
Have a motion, do I have a second?
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any questions?
I do. If we chose to table this subject, would there be another public hearing? Is it the public hearing over? I mean, is it over?
We can reschedule another public hearing if that is the desire of the mayor and city council members.
That was just a question. You hear people, you have constituents come to you and say, well, I don't want to do this, or I want to do that. And then when you have a public hearing, there's nobody here. I mean, it's, unless it's about taxes, everybody shows up. But in other cases, they're not here to voice their opinion. And I guess they kind of had their chance at a public hearing. But at the same time, I'm in favor of tabling this if we need to. Oh, Jeff's got a question. I'm through. He's got a question.
Anybody else?
He's got a
I don't have
question.
any issue with another public hearing or anything like that. I want to be as above board as possible with it, so, whatever.
Well, I don't, and with that being said, I don't know how, all I'm saying is I want to hear everything everybody's got to say about this, evidently. And I think, I guess it's probably a bad time to have a public hearing with COVID and nobody wants to be involved in crowds and everything, but it was just it was a question. If we table this now, will we have another public hearing, or do we have to decide to have another one?
You'll have to decide to have another public hearing.
Okay.
The advertisement that was published in the Noonan Times Herald on December 30th, 2020, said that the purpose of this hearing is to bring the public on proposed update, provide an opportunity for residents to comment on the updates and notify the residents when the updates will be submitted to the regional commission. The public hearing will be held on January 25th or thereafter. To receive comments will be received at the above public hearing or may be submitted prior to January the 11th, 2021 to the city manager. I did not receive any comments, so it may be appropriate to schedule another public hearing with an advertisement such as that because of COVID-19, so that anybody who has a comment may submit it in writing prior to the next scheduled public hearing.
Well, my stance is still the same that I stated at our work session. However, if Mr. Mansour wants to address our planning commission again, I believe it may be interesting to see what our planning commission decides after he meets with them. But I also want to keep in mind that it's a very populated area up there, and I would hope that when all is said and done, that the citizen in that area who will be affected the most will voice their concern. And I realize you say it's not anything that you're gonna do right away. But I would just think it would be wise for them to be well informed whenever it happens, when could it happen. So I concur with Mr. Waycaser. I have no problem tabling this until he could meet with the planning commission.
Mr. Mayor, if I could interrupt, the only thing on the table at this point is the motion to close the public hearing. Then the next issue that you have on your agenda is discussion and decision on the issue, and at that point, the council can decide whether or not to table it, but that discussion really isn't germane to the motion that's on the table right now, which is just simply whether or not to close the public hearing.
Okay, if somebody made a motion, I'll second it.
You already got it. You did second.
Okay.
One of y'all did.
He did.
I thought we already closed it.
Mark King, do you have anything that you wanted to?
Not at this time, no.
Okay. All right, no more questions. All in favor of closing the public hearing, signify by aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it, so ordered. We'll close it at what time you have, Mr. Reachaver?
6:41.
Now the council would decide whether or not to act on the issue before you of amending the comprehensive plan, or whether to table that as requested this evening.
Okay, thank you.
With that being said, I'll make a motion that we table it.
We have a motion, we have a second?
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Do we have any questions or discussion on tabling the amendment to the comprehensive? Okay, hearing none, all in favor of the motion signify by aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it, so ordered. Next order of business will be the election of Mayor Pro Tem.
Yes, sir, Mr. Mayor, I will pass out ballots.
How do we cast a virtual vote?
You'll have to articulate it.
You hear that, Mr. King?
No vote on this.
We're voting on the, trying to elect the Mayor Pro Tem, and if you wish to participate, you have to be able to articulate your vote.
Then I do not have a vote card.
Okay.
Councilmember Ruby Hines is elected as the mayor pro tem.
Congratulations, Ms. Hines.
Just make sure you stay present.
I can't promise that.
Honestly, you've done a good job when he wasn't president. I think there was one time he wasn't here, and you did a very good job.
You know what? I wish I could get with Leanne and ask her to come take your dinner. I wish I could do that, but I can't do it. But I appreciate that. Thank you.
Well, I mean, I wasn't being smart.
I know. I think you were sincere. Thank you. Be sure to tell my husband when I get home.
Okay, the next item, is the announcement of the committee assignments. We did that last meeting.
Yes, sir, Mr. Mayor. However, I must admit, I asked the city clerk to type out the committee appointments, the mayor's committee appointments, because I wasn't able to follow the last two. So they are there for everyone to see, and they went out with the agenda, so wide dissemination was had of those appointments.
But there's no action required.
No action required.
Next item, discussion decision on reappointment of the planning commission members.
Yes, sir. The following planning commission members need to be reappointed so that they are serving in a current appointment term. It is requested that the city council reappoint the following planning commission members to serve a 2-year term beginning January 1st, 2021 and ending December 31st, 2022. Those members are Tyree Raptis, Joe Ward, Brenda Maddox, and Danny Clay.
Do I have a motion to reappoint the
Motion to reappoint.
I have a motion, do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. We have any questions or discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it, so ordered. Okay, next order is discussion decision on setting qualifying fees for the city council elections, post 3 and post 4.
Yes, sir, Mr. Mayor. As we talked about at the work session, the qualifying fee would be $72 for council post 3 and council post 4, that being 3% of the salary of $2,400 per year.
Okay. We have a motion to set the fee at $72 for post 3 and post 4.
Motion to approve.
Have a motion to a second.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Do we have any questions? Hearing none, all in favor signify by aye.
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 Ayes have it, so ordered. Only 3 votes. Next order is discussion decision on authorizing for a full-time position in the city clerk's office.
Yes, sir, Mr. Mayor. We have passed out a handout for everyone, and since Councilmember King has, on the audio, I will go over it. The difference between a part-time and full-time employee as done by the financial analyst is $25,160. That being the part-time employee is $18,862, and the full-time employee with the salary, group insurance, FICA contribution, Medicare, and the employee's benefit bank is $44,022, which is an increase of $25,160. We think this is basically offset, if not overcome, by the differences in revenues that the city clerk's office has generated, the growth of the city from 2018, we had 1,485 utility customers. The workload has increased as we now have 1,649 utility customers, a 164 customer base increase, and utility revenues have increased $508,551. Billing per $21,240. In 2019, they went to $91,418. And in 2020, they went to $294,675. What I'm saying is these are the increase is in the load to the city clerk's office. Occupational licenses went from 72 in 2018 to 94 in 2020. Now there was a decline in revenue, but that was not due to the city clerk's office. That is due to our antiquated occupational tax licensing procedure, which, given time, the city clerk will be able to address. But right now, with the workload in the city clerk's office and the population growth and revenue growth, the city clerk does not have an opportunity to do it. We also base our request for a full-time employee for the audit finding that we've had for the last 3 years on segregation of duties. Additionally, records management has not been addressed in the past, should be addressed in the future, and with our ordinance on record management will cause the city clerk to have additional duties, and without manpower, it'll take a back burner like it did in the future. Like it did in the past, not in the future. Additionally, we asked for a part-time employee to go full-time to do some cross-training to back up the utility billing clerk, which is not possible at this time. So, with all of those, we request a full-time position in the city clerk's office, and I'll ask the city clerk if she has any additional information that she would like to share with the city council members.
No, sir, I think you covered it.
That's it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Do I have a motion to authorize the full-time position?
I'll make a motion that we authorize the position.
Do I have a second?
I'll second it for discussion reasons.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. Do we have any questions or discussion?
Yes. First of all, I'm thankful that people won't come to Grant when they work in a great city. Please give me clarity, Mr. Brishaber.
That mask.
When we hire these people to work in the office, they are given a job description of what their job will involve.
Correct.
Okay. I've worked for 43 years with the school system, and I was given a job description of what needed to be done, with the understanding that there may be other duties that they would ask me to do, and if I was willing to do those secretary and bookkeeping duties. Of course, I wanted the job, so I said yes. and I stayed. So, I believe that we should have efficient, professional run office. I was concerned though, I checked on the population of Brantford for 2018, and I Googled it, and it said for 2018, our population was 3,219. And for 2019, it was 3,236. Now, how true that is, I don't know. But we know that that's a difference of only 17 people.
Ms. Ruby, can you say that again? Can you read those? I'm sorry, I missed that.
According to Google, 2018 census was 3,219. And for 2019, it was 3,236.
So you're saying we only gained 17 people from 18 to 19?
This is what Google had on their computer. Now, how accurate that is, I have no idea. But I was just thinking, if we're not increasing, and I see what you have produced here, if we're not increasing and leaps and bounds, and the person that we hired is, were you speaking of the person that's already part-time, Mr. Reshape?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and she's already part-time. I don't understand why our workload and tasks cannot be prioritized so that we can do the most pressing for any given day. And grant you, when I was working, some days could be a whirlwind, and some days it was not. So I just believe in prioritizing and doing and seeing what works best at that particular time, and go from there. And if our city continues to grow, you know, I would be in favor of hiring maybe 2 people to make sure that our city is run in an efficient and professional manner. But presently, I just think that time used wisely and prioritizing can help to correct our situation.
Is that it?
Right now.
Okay.
I got a question, I do.
Go ahead.
Now, when you say utility customers, you're talking about one household, right?
Yes.
Okay. So now, Ms. Ruby just said that Google said from 2018 to 19, we grew by 17 people. Right here, this is factual, I guess, this information right here, I'm sure. That's 52 customers. And if you figure, what do you think the average household in the state, in the city of Grantville is, you would think at least 3. Maybe more, I don't know. But you're talking about instead of 17 people, 150 people. That's quite a bit of difference. And if you look at some of the stats right here, the amount of revenue, I can't, that's, in the utilities, that's $4,738,000 in 2019. So what I'm saying is, according to my figure, we grew by $427,000 in utility revenues from 18 to 19. Am I correct about that?
From 2018 to 2020, you grew
Okay.
$551.
So I'm probably right, from 18, I'm using Miss Ruby's 17 people here as an example. We grew $427,000 from 18 to 19. And we grew, what did I just say, possibly 150 residents from 18 to 19. But she just said that Google said we only grew 17 people from 18 to 19. Now, does anybody agree with me that that don't make sense? I guess nobody does, but I think that's the facts right here. All I'm saying is look at the revenues that we have generated from one year to the next, from where we started, and the difference is $25,000 that we're gonna spend. I mean, just look at the building permits. They went from in 18, they went from $21,000 to $91,000, and then jumped to $294. I mean, I don't know where you got the 17 people off of Google that moved to Grindville from 2018 to 2019, but this sure ain't reflective of it right here. And I support 100% hiring another person to help in the city clerk's office. Now this is all right here on paper. This is facts. I don't know where the 17 people, I know Google said it, but I guess sometimes Google is wrong. I mean, I rely on Google a lot, but I just don't think that the 17 people from 18 to 19 is accurate, according to what we've taken in money-wise, utility revenues, utility customers, and building permit money.
We should know with some reasonable accuracy if and when the census is ever completed.
Well, you talking about the last one I saw was in 2014.
No, they just completed one.
Well, but I know
They just haven't,
we don't have nothing to compare but to 2014.
yeah, I don't think they finished it yet, but
Yeah.
anyway.
You're right about that. That would be something accurate to compare to. All my point is here is that the jumps from one year to the next that on paper here are amazing. But yet we can't spend a little bit of money to hire a full-time employee. I'm just for it. You know, I mean, look at the paper. Look at this. That's all I got to say right now.
Okay, anybody else? Mark King, you got anything?
No, sir, I do not.
Okay. Did you have something else, Ruben?
No, other than to reiterate, I was referencing what Google had printed. They could be in error, and they could not be. I have not gone through Grandville to count all the houses and how many people lives in it. My concern is the office being run in a most efficient manner, prioritizing and all the tasks. And I'm not saying it's not being done. I'm just saying in previous years I've seen that happen, and great results. We benefited from great results. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, first off, let me say, and I get accused of making this statement of just being a campaign slogan, but it's not. It's something as a taxpayer and as the mayor, in every decision I try to make up here, I try to weigh it out as far as the added cost to the citizens of the city and what they receive in return for that money. You know, there are some things that, like it or not, we're gonna have to pay for. But I never have believed that anytime you have well, we used to call them problems, now they call them, opportunities or something. I don't believe you just throw money at it. I think you need to try to find a cure for the problem rather than just continually throwing money. You try this don't work, so you throw more money, that's your answer. And then that doesn't work, so you throw more money, that's your answer again. I think you need to look for answers to things. Now, let me try to hit on a few of these points that was brought up. Number one, this large increase in building permit revenues of $294,675. If I'm not in error, and again I say if I'm not in error, most of that is absorbed by inspection fees. So we don't recognize all that money as profit. Also, I wanted to say, when I came into the door, almost, well, 6 days and 6 years and 25 days ago, in the front office, we had 2 clerks and a part-time front clerk. At that time, the clerk and the assistant clerk took care of all the duties, pretty much of what is being done today. There hasn't been a great increase or decrease of the work. The one thing was that was mentioned was the retention of records. That's something they've always had to do. This is required by law. Now, it may not be the same retention that we adopted the other night, but they've had to retain these records and maintain them for years. And they were done by those 2 ladies and the part-time clerk. I don't want to argue the population, but I don't believe it's grown that much. But like I say, when in 2015, January of 2015, when I came in the office, the only staff we had was those 2. Now, one of the duties of the staff at that time with those 2 girls was what we now label financial analysts. So that's a position that we added that was done by those 2.5 individuals in the past. So we added that salary over the years. We also added a full-time utility clerk. That's another, and if this position costs this much, I'm sure that one costs at least that much. So we've added those 2 positions. Again, I don't think the growth reflects what we've already spent, and we're being told the problem is still there. One of the other issues that has brought up is that the audit reports, September 30, 2013, the audit report mentioned the segregation of duties that they need to be done. Again, in September 30, 2015, again it was mentioned the basic internal control over financial reporting is the segregation of duties of transactions, processing, recording, record keeping, reconciliation, and custody of assets. But the next sentence of the report says, this is an inherent limitation for entities that are small in size and thus have limited staff to perform designated functions. They recognize this, that cities of this size cannot segregate all the duties. The citizens can't afford to keep putting more people in here so that they only have one duty or two duties. And that's what segregation of duties are. But what else did I have? Like I say, I don't think the population or anything else has grown that much since 2015. And another thing, in 2016, there was an attempt to go to a 4-day work week. Now, at that time, we were led to believe that all the work could be done in 4 days. Now we're saying we need additional help to get it done in 5 days? Not adding up.
Well, Mr. Mayor, the 4-day work week, pardon me.
Excuse me, I have the floor. All right, and I will give you an opportunity. The second item is we spent thousands of dollars for a new computer program, Adopt to Solve, that was going to answer a lot of the questions about time preparing the utility billing, even though a new computer system had just been bought about 2 years prior to that. So again, this is citizens' money that pays this back. This city does not have a job that has an income. The only way we get money is from the citizens' pocket. Okay? So that, and if you, and this just arrived today in my mailbox. If you need any other proof, this is a notice of my mortgage increasing $45 a month. Now that does not include whatever this cost is. That's what we're already increasing from the years before. So I just don't think it's necessary. I think what we need to do is maybe a little closer supervision and help with training people and offering better ways of doing their job. That's just me, but like I say, and I'm speaking as the mayor, but more importantly as a senior citizen of this town who's every year when the utilities go up, and this is not the only thing, I mean, it's not just the taxes on your house. Your utilities have been going up every year pretty much, and they're going to continue. And they don't match what us seniors get on our Social Security tax. So I would not like to see this done, but of course, as mayor of the city, I don't have a vote unless it's a tie. But if it is a tie, I'll state now, I will vote against hiring making this a full-time position. Mr. Greenshaver, you got things?
I was just going to point out the 4-day work week was 40 hours a week work, as the 5-day work week is 40 hours of work. I wouldn't want anybody to think we only worked 4 8-hour days. It was 4 10-hour days.
Well, and in rebuttal to that, right now, working the 5-day week, when one of the ladies has a doctor's appointment or something like that, it does drop it down. So, you know, people can put whatever weight they want on it. But anyway, did you have something else?
Yeah, I had to go to the bathroom. What was that, was that your mortgage on your house went up $45?
A month.
Okay, I understand that. that's kind of irrelevant to what we're talking about here, but it comes, I understand what your point is, but it doesn't have anything to do with the decision we're making right here. Now, we already don't, our pay scale here in Grantville is under the curve of most as it is. You know, I just like to see us keep the employees that we have long-term. I'd like them to be happy here. I would like them to please our citizens. And I think this is a good choice to, I mean, for if you look at this is the facts. And I don't know where, like I said, going back to the 17 people that we accumulated from 18 to 19 this day and time in Grantville, I don't know. I don't think that's accurate. If you look at the revenues on utilities, and you're right, Doug, I agree with you. A lot of that building permit money goes to pay safe build. But obviously Grantville's growing. It's growing by leaps and bounds, and I just want to make sure that we're serving our citizens, and that's the way I look at it. So I guess everybody got their own opinion, obviously.
Okay, anybody else? Okay. Well, like I say, I don't think it's justified at this time. And even on days where utility bills are coming to the deadline where they're either going to be disconnected or late fees added, I defy anybody to go up there and look at the camera.
Also, in front of 70 Grady Smith Street is another patch, and 100 Grady Smith is another patch. They need to be repaid.
They've been reported before, but I don't know why they haven't been fixed, but other than, one thing may be that we try to get enough to call somebody in to do them, I don't know.
Would you give me those addresses again?
I didn't hear you. I didn't hear you.
The addresses where you say the asphalt needs to be?
One is right there in front of the mill, before the curve, and the other one is in front of 70, and there's another one up there in front of 100.
70 and 100?
Yes.
Okay, let's take a look at it.
70, 100, they have gravel in them and no asphalt, and the one in front of those is temporary asphalt, and it's rough.
I know they use coal patch on it.
It's coal patch, yeah.
And that darn coal patch,
It's
not worth a hoot,
It's all wavy.
in my opinion.
Yeah.
But now they did put them doors up there on that building, I hope you noticed that.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Well out.
Yeah.
Did they ever get rid of the mud over there, down in that area where you were?
No, that's what I'm talking about, it's down up against the mill, and I mow the grass on that slope and the curve, and I can't mow it until it's fixed back. And also there's mud, or gravel that was washed out from the street, or from the leak, and it's down there on that mill driveway to the ramps. That needs to be cleaned up. That's part of the city's.
Well, I did ask, I didn't ignore you.
Yeah. That's my comment. Thank you.
No, thank you. Get no more comments? All right, city council comments. Mr. Wakey.
I don't have any, thank you.
Mr. King, you got any comments?
My only comment is I hope everyone stays healthy. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Ms. Hines?
I just thank everyone for coming and get ready to enjoy the rain. It's coming. Glenn Burns says it is.
Sales is not here tonight. And, let's see, I did have a couple comments. One comment is, Mr. Mallory, I'm so glad to see you back with us. And Ms. Hines has been filling in with the invocation, and she's done a capable job, but it's good to have you back.
Good to be back, thank you.
Okay. I did have something. I don't know whether any of the city council members or even the citizens for that matter, but this city just recently paid close to or maybe in excess of $100,000 to get the trees trimmed off our utility lines. And as y'all ride through the city, I wish you'd look at it. Now, the standard, as I understand it, for trimming those lines is 15 foot, top, bottom, and each side. And some of them I see, the trees already, it just never has been cut off the line or it's grown back already. So, I don't think the citizens got their money's worth on that. I wish whoever looks up could see for themselves rather than take my word. So anyway, the other thing is the city manager's evaluation. By contract, this city is required to do an annual evaluation on the city manager. I've been trying to get this done for about 3 months. I received evaluations. I asked that they be completed by each council member and turned into me. I received one from Mr. King, Mr. Sells, Ms. Hines. I never received one from Mr. Waycaser. And on December the 22nd, I sent him an email advising him that
Mr. Mayor, just to stop you, I turned my evaluation in to the city clerk. So,
okay, well, I never received it, and I didn't ask him to turn it in to the city clerk. But at any rate, Mr. Grishaber, at this point, the only thing I can do is give you the 4 that I have. You can do whatever.
Yes, sir, thank you.
with that being said, you giving him the 4, what does that mean?
I wanted to comply with the written contract that we have, but I couldn't do it.
The last time that was mentioned in a meeting, I turned mine in to the city clerk. Maybe I should have given it to you. But I remember filling it out and I remember returning it.
But the policy has been, the last 6 years and beyond, that it turned into the mayor, and that was my request, not to the city clerk, to the mayor. For whatever reason, that wasn't done. So, at any rate, Mr. Grishaber, you got anything?
No, sir, thank you.
Mr. Mitchell, you got anything?
No, sir.
Okay, nothing comes before the council, adjournment's in order.
Motion to adjourn.
I have a motion, do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We are adjourned, thank you.
All right, bud. Take care.